I had an interest in money from an early age, mainly because when I was growing up, we didn't have much of it. Now, one of the first books that I ever read about personal finance was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This book has somewhat of a cult following. I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. So in it, Kiyosaki frames the 4 approaches to building wealth, yet only 2 can help you break free of the day-to-day grind. He explains that each of us falls into one of the following cash flow quadrants. The E stands for employee. Your income is derived via a salary, which you cannot control. No matter how hard you work, your income will always be capped as an employee. The S stands for self-employed. This describes the majority of people who call themselves business owners, even those with a number of staff and perhaps an office. In this quadrant, the company is entirely dependent on the owner's time. If he or she stops working, their income stops as well. The B stands for business owner or big business. This is the realm of entrepreneurs, people who design systems, machines comprised of people and processes to generate a profit. And the 4th part of the quadrant is the I, and that stands for investor. Investors use money to create more money. They don't have to work because their money works for them. Now, as a founder, if you're looking to build wealth, you want to be in the B and I section of the quadrant. Now, unless one is a child prodigy entrepreneur, which they just don't exist, all of us started in the E quadrant, right? We're all employees once upon a time. And then we started our business and we bought into a misconception. You see, we thought we were heading straight to the B quadrant as a business owner, right? But typically what happens is that rather than going from E to B, we shift from employee to self-employed. Rather than owning a business, we own a job. Let that sink in for a second. And I'm not just talking about the solopreneurs here. You know, the freelance graphic designer working from a home office, for example. You could be in the S quadrant and have a dozen employees in a fancy office space downtown. You may own the company, but the company owns you too. Believe me, I know. I was in the exact same situation. When I first started my business 4 years ago, I was so proud of the leap I made. I felt like I was in complete control of my destiny. But as my business grew, I was working more and more hours. Sure, I had employees, but they needed me to stand over their shoulder. My clients needed me too. My company was completely dependent upon my time, and thus so was my income. I bought into a lie. 3 years later, yeah, my business is still reliant on me to get shit done, but 80% of my time is leading at the helm of the ship, not in the engine room. Now, as a founder and CEO, that's exactly where you need to be spending your time, the B section and I section of the quadrant. You see, the cash flow quadrant is a useful model that helps me frame what it really means to be a business owner. Maybe it's of use to you too.